Toss aside the touchy-feely notions of love in business and recognize the real power it holds. Welcome to the Love is Just Damn Good Business podcast with host Steve Farber. Drawing on his work with a wide variety of companies from the Fortune 100 to smaller family-owned businesses, Farber shares inspiring interviews with business leaders and proven strategies for how you can create experiences that your customers will love by developing a culture that your employees, teammates, and colleagues love working in. Discover why and how love, at the end of the day, is just damn good business for you too. Here's your host, Steve Farber.
Hi, this is Steve Farber, and welcome to another episode of the Love is Just Damn Good Business podcast. You know how it is when you meet somebody for the first time, and within a matter of minutes, the connection is so deep, and the understanding is so rich that it feels like you've known this person forever, even though it's only been maybe a matter of moments. I'm assuming that you have had an experience like that in your life. I've actually had several. Today, I'm going to highlight two of those people who came into my life in that way. I met Isaac and Thorald Koren at a conference a number of years ago, and we just connected as brothers. I think it's the simplest way to put it. They are world-class musicians and world-class teachers, and it's an unusual set of characteristics to find wrapped up into one package. But these guys and I felt a sense of brotherhood and camaraderie with one another that led us to, and I will never forget this, playing music together till 3 o'clock in the morning, like I used to do when I was a much younger man. Isaac and Thorald Koren are, and I'm not exaggerating, world-class talent. They are singer-songwriters, they're composers, like I said, they're teachers. Under the band name The Kin, they traveled with Pink, with Coldplay, with Rod Stewart. They opened for Bon Jovi. So these guys have played arena shows around the world. And they have a wonderful gift, not only of music, but a gift of drawing the music out of other people in a program they call the Songwriters Journey, where they take people who are either musicians or want to be musicians or have had an impulse towards music and have never expressed it. They will take them. They've taken more than 100 people through this journey from nothing, really, into actually recording an album of original music that they draw out of these people. So I want to share with you their conversation with us at the Extreme Leadership Experience in 2019, where they're discussing what they call the difference between our big voices and our small voices, how to recognize them, and work through the voices that hold us back versus the ones that really propel us forward. I know you're going to enjoy this presentation. There's some music in there, as there always is with the brothers, and a little bit of audience interaction. But most important, I'd like you to think through what this inspires you to reflect about yourself. What are your big voices? What are your small voices? And then I'll pop back on at the end and give you a couple of specific things to think about and to try. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the Brothers Koren.
Well, we couldn't be more thrilled to be here. Firstly, we feel like we get to be a giddy schoolgirl around Steve in return after the years we've become glorious friends. And not only jam buddies late night at different events we're at, but also future collaborators or present collaborators. So thank you, Steve. And it's so fantastic to see the culture, right, of this experience. A second year in, we got to be here last year. And you can really feel that magnetize and come together. So I'm really proud of this and what you're creating. It's just so incredible. It's a testament to your work. So thank you.
Yes, like you said, we're so grateful. We're going to start this time we have together with a song, and it's called Catch Me.
You getting that? Oh, yeah.
Loud and clear.
All right, something like this. I need a mic, that's right. Ho!
We made our bets, gotta count the threats. Earn our bread, the wolves are fed. Hey, hey. Catch me if you can. Simon says, gotta stand on my head. Gotta take the man's find a woman to wed. Hey, hey. Catch me if you can. Catch up or catch me. Hey, yo. I've been chasing my tail. I'm already a hero. And so are you. Hey, yo. I'm not for sale. I'm already a hero. And so are you. Gotta chase my tail for the holy grail. The great white whale, the 9-inch nails, hey, hey. Catch me if you can. You can pay my bail, I'm not for sale. Beyond the pale, it's born to sail, hey, hey. Catch me if you can. Catch up or catch me, hey, yo. I'm chasing my tail, but I'm already a hero, and so are you. I'm not for sale. I'm already a hero. So you catch up or catch me. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're so grateful to be here with you all and have a conversation. I don't think I need this anymore, right?
Yeah, just for singing.
We're going to have a conversation today, but we're going to start with some questions. So raise your hand if you are a shower singer.
Oh,
Nice!
that's most hands that are ever admitted.
And raise your hands if, not mutually exclusively, but you sing in the car. Woo! More car
Even
singers.
more.
We have a theory that we're developing data on that the car singers don't want to be heard and the shower singers don't want to be seen.
When Isaac first said that, I was like, but actually, that's a good point. That might have merit. That might have merit.
So hands up if you don't feel confident or quite confident speaking up at work. One bold.
One bold person
two.
admitted to.
Do I have 3? Yeah. Can I get 4, 5, 6, 7?
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. All right, good. Thank you for that.
How about just in your lives in general, when you go to be yourself, when speaking in general, just being embodied, being able to speak and act what it is that you really feel without fear of sort of embarrassment or ridicule or judgment. How many people feel like truly just, I'm really myself in my day as an instrument? Okay, great. This is a pretty transformed room, guys.
I agree. So just like John was pointing out so well, the desire for companies, big and small, to really hear the voice of their constituents. We're really focused on people reclaiming their voice. That's really our joy to see that. And so today, this conversation. Thank you. Thank you. So today, this conversation, we want to address perhaps the breakdown that people might have, that even though their employers or associates are listening more, do they have the power, the confidence, and the freedom inside themselves and the connectedness to their own voice, and whatever that means, to actually speak up, despite the environment being more accommodating to their voice? So this is a question I want to leave the beginning of this talk or this conversation to. So,
and specifically in our world, which we're about to describe, it's almost always about unleashing someone's voice. So in our distinction today, we're really going to make a very clear relationship between what is your big voice versus the small voices that possibly plague you. But before we get into that, who are we and how do we get here? Let's make it very clear. It's really clear to us that now we're speaking and stepping out of just music, that it would be easy to be like, well, no, you guys do it's just music. You guys are artists. Why are you coaching? Why are you speaking? The truth is, in the middle of our wild experience, which was really a 15-year career, we had this thirst that as bigger, the rooms got bigger, and our desire and thirst to actually connect with people got deeper, and in some ways further away. And we asked ourselves why, and we didn't quite know what we were asking each other. But this is how it came through. It was like, okay, cool, so that was amazing, but how do we get closer? Like, what kind of VIP thing could we do before a show where we sit on their laps? Like, we'll sit on their laps and take requests and hug them, and when they say thank you so much, we're like, no, thank you. Like, how do we get closer? I'm literally, this is the feeling I had. And Isaac would be like, yeah, and we're like, what's next? Like, should we go to one of their houses and sleep over and hold them in bed? We didn't know. Like, how do we get closer to a fan?
And the other feeling we
weren't going to do that.
Was the other feeling we had was that, for the moment that we were with them, they felt this connection and aliveness and freedom and power and confidence to come up to us and to sing and to dance. And we hated to see that as soon as they left the room or woke up the next morning with a small hangover, they lost that sense. They forgot to see that it was inside them.
And instead they would say, can't wait for you to come back. Can't wait for that next tour. When are you coming next?
Or they'd have to put on our music or something or other songs to connect to that. So we've found our new commitment, as well as our commitment to our own voices as artists together and separately, is to also help others, and that's our why, to reclaim their big voice. And so the conversation we're going to have today is about the small voices that tend to get in the way or steal the microphone from the big voice. So I believe we've kind of told you a bit about why we're here. And for us, it wasn't always a song and a dance. It wasn't always like it is now. We weren't as satisfied as we are with our life at this point. Like Thorald was kind of alluding to, there were some struggles. There were some big struggles with, feeling like the industry didn't see or value what we were trying to give them. And even though we were signed to Interscope and we were touring arenas and everything, there was this sense that we weren't seen or heard. We were misunderstood. And so we found that the small voices that are still with us today, we just don't give them the microphone. They started to arise and make themselves clear.
And maybe even bigger in some of those biggest moments. And I feel like that's not talked about that much, that sometimes those big moments where everything's on the line, everyone's like, well done, look what you're doing now. A set of small voices tend to go off then big time. And we found that we got to really see which voices really got to us. And what happened with the Brothers Koren, was the kin at the time, is we came off the road and we were visited by this idea. How do we get to someone who has music inside them they haven't known how to voice? And this journey kind of birthed itself. It's called the Songwriters Journey. It birthed itself through us in 1 hour of brother conversation. And we were going to take someone from inception to celebrating themselves in their life through a series of stages that just sort of came to us. And we went, this might be our best bad idea ever, because we've had a lot of ideas. And we did our first one. It was a young girl from Washington, D.C., had never recorded original music, but always wanted to sing. And she went on about 9 months later to win the John Legend songwriting competition at South by Southwest. We never got into it for an accolade, but what we did get to the heart of was who she was. And it was a simple premise. We'll become her brothers. We'll have her permission to step into her life, help her make a mess, help her see how valuable she is, help her see what it is that the instrument that she is as a singer and a voice in her life is distinct and one of a kind. Actually, no cliches aside, the reality of that, and then how valuable what she's been through highlights her songs. And the proof was that she was so in this song went on to represent her in a way in the world. And what we discovered from that experience was we should repeat this. And so we did, and then we did again, and we did again. And we're over 100 journeys in. We're on our third group starting on Wednesday of 9 people maximum, 4 to 6 month experiences. And what we got from all of this is we sat back and went, what is it in this that's working? You know, what we knew the why. We knew why. We wanted to get as close as possible to people. And we didn't want just to be the entertainment. We didn't want to be adored only. We like some adoration, everyone does. But we wanted, so this thing was working. We're like, well, what is it? And we're like, well, we're helping people step into what it is they always were for real. They were born away when they were 4, 5. They were born with a freedom, a power, a value. They were like, yeah, this is me, I'm 5. The world hasn't told me what to do, what I should do, shouldn't do for the most part. And we're reminding them about coming back into that big voice. The other thing Isaac and I discovered were there were a bunch of small voices that may plague each individual.
Exactly. And let's just get clear on this. We'll give you a Brothers Koren definition of a small voice, just so that we can all be in the room with what we mean by small voices. Thanks for that, Steve. So a small voice, for us, is any internal and automatic negative thought, feeling, or emotion. Any automatic negative thought, feeling, or emotion that comes up to protect you, or to stop you, really, but protect you from expressing yourself, speaking up, singing out, being yourself radically in public, to protect you from the feeling of embarrassment, being hurt, harmed, whatever may have happened in the past that created that small voice to protect you.
Especially childhood is a ripe time for that.
I'll give you my example.
Tell us yours, tell us yours.
I was going to be a lawyer, and at 15, I could not sing, or so I thought. And I was at a backyard party in Australia, where we're from, and my new best friend, who I thought played guitar like Jimi Hendrix, looked at me with these wild eyes. You got a guitar, Handy?
Oh, yeah. What was he playing? What was he playing?
He was just like bum, bum, boom, bluesy. It was just blues. And he was like getting really into it, and I was closing my eyes, getting really into it. And he looked at me and he was like, sing for me, Zach. He called me Zach. And I was just like, but the invitation somehow called me, my spirit forward. And I was just like, oh, yeah, yeah. Mama, no, take me down to my roots.
Did you say that?
Keep
That
going.
was
No,
amazing.
I probably would have.
Were you that good?
I don't know, but he said, oh, what do you mean? You didn't tell me you could sing. And I was still in the small voice. I can't sing. What are you talking about? I don't know what that was, but I can't sing. He was like, no. And he grabbed me and he was like, you're going to sing for my band. We got a gig in 2.5 weeks. And so 2.5 weeks later, there was about this many people in front of me, and I was just on top of the world, feeling the power and the freedom of letting my voice be heard. And I've resisted it a number of times, but that desire to connect and to be with audience has kept me from listening to that small voice. And so what we've found over the last 5...
Before you move on, we're going to sing a song about Isaac's childhood, though, because we thought, this is a perfect song. This song is written about your small voices.
I demonstrate all
literally,
the top
before we started
voices.
talking about small voices, he wrote this song, and listen carefully, because it was a struggle. It was pretty effed up, what happened. No, I'm kidding. I love saying it. Everyone's going to be like, wow. This is called When He Was Younger, so When I Was Younger, it's called. Here we go. I'm not going to sing with the mic, Michael Cole.
We're good? Okay. When I was younger, I wished on white horses. I built Roman empires, held captive the bees in a jar. Now that I'm older, I never ride horses. I'm scared by the empire. I'm buzzing like bees in a jar. Oh, who's driving this car? Let the damn child take the wheel. Who's driving this car? Let the damn child take the wheel. So we sing, la 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 la. When I was younger, I'd torment the guests if they dared to stay later with cigarette butts in their tea. Now that I'm older, the guests don't come over. I sit in the corner, smoke butts till they fade away. Who's driving this car? Let the damn child take the wheel. Who's driving this car? Let the damn child take the wheel. So we sing, la 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 la. Oh, la 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 la. When I was younger, I fought all the monsters, tried to keep my poor mother from running away.
She really did run away.
Now that I'm older, I am the monster, and I followed my mother to the hell that she went to that day.
New York City.
Who's driving your car? Let the damn child take the wheel. Who's driving this car? Let the damn child take the wheel. So we sing, la 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 la. Whoa, la 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 la. Oh, la 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 la. Oh, la 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 la.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we were plagued by our own small voices of the pressure of fame and success that was like told to us our whole lives. You guys are great. You guys are special. You guys are going to have your shot. Why don't you have your shot yet? And this is said to us in the music business, and I don't know where this applies in your businesses, but you're in the middle of cultivating something special, and people are saying, hey, why aren't you Rod Stewart? Like literally, I don't know how to describe what that feels like, but it's literally the culmination of what it feels like to be not good enough. Even when people are saying, I'm here, why aren't there another 1,000? And they mean it with the most good intentions, but that started to plague us very much.
We became frustrated.
Definitely frustrated. And even when we're on a major label and we were Jimmy Iovine's last signing before he went to Apple, and we had this big showcase and everyone was there saying, yeah, this is great, find the song. Even in that moment, we found ourselves playing into a story from our own small voices that was, are we gonna find it? Are we good enough to get a crack? Like Imagine Dragons in front of us and all these people that were around us. And so in our frustration, we decided to, we started to kind of act out. We felt kind of rejected and outcasted even though we weren't yet, so to speak. And well, we used to do this thing, we're on tour. If we didn't love what we're going through, we used to we came up with this idea called musical robbery.
Yeah.
And we used to, the beginning
mob.
of Pulp Fiction? The movie, so they're at a diner. We came up with this idea, at a diner, that we'd go get the guitar after we paid our bill and run back in like it was like a big moment of that film.
We'll show you.
You
Ready?
want to actually show?
Just pretend that you're in a restaurant. We're not here.
Okay. We're not invited, by the way.
Ready?
Yeah. Wait, we have to because we have to psych ourselves up. Because the truth is, we were really scared we'd have to psych ourselves up to go in unannounced. Okay, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a musical robbery. Maybe you are passing by me now on an uptown ride.
And Isaac would like eat people's fries a little bit.
Why do we find it so hard to write this out? Well, I'm trying to find out. Oh, on a downtown train, borrowing down alone, beside myself, so alone. It woke me up, it woke me up, it wakes me up. Oh, I'm an aeroplane crashing into this train, all alone, so alone. It woke me up, it woke me up, it wakes me up. Oh,
And then we'd leave, and one time, Isaac, I looked across, we're in like a college, because we did 100 of these for fun. Isaac was licking a girl's ice cream, like someone had a soft serve cone, and he like licked it, and I was like, we've gone maybe too far. But
I wish you wouldn't tell that part of the story.
The whole intention was, it was our own way of being kind of in our small voice, in a way, in action. And we wanted to talk about that. But it was kind of like we're picking a scab and it felt so good. And it was our way of being like, do you feel that? It was our way of saying F you. And, but we had such thrill in doing it. We did colleges, law finals exams. We had a law sit threatened once. But afterwards, we realized what we were really doing with that we were trying to express our frustration, not really what we wanted. And though we don't have any regrets or take it back, we were really acting from our small voice. So,
what are these small voices? Over the 100 journeys that we've been on with people, and we're so grateful to have been on these journeys with people, because we've gotten to, the byproduct of this is we've gotten to see, well, how are we similar, and what are the things or the small voices that are actually stopping most of us?
Yes.
At least most of the people that come and work with us.
Yes.
So we before we tell you the 5 top small voices, we wanted to see what is in the room. What small voices actually come up for people here with us? Is anyone courageous enough to share with us a small voice that they've encountered in their life? Yes, in the green. Protection? Rejection.
What does the voice say?
Same thing, I'm not good enough.
Right.
Got it.
Not good enough.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You're going to fail.
Yeah.
You'll fail. What's the small voice say? You don't
fail.
do it, you're going to fail?
Got it.
Got it.
Thank you. Yeah. Amy.
Amy.
No one wants to hear what you have to say.
Right.
Right.
No one wants to hear what you have to say.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
They won't understand.
Misunderstood, maybe? I feel misunderstood. That's a big one. Thank you.
Got it. Yes, ma'am. They'll
fraud.
find out.
I love
Don't
that
say
one.
anything. They'll
That's a
find
good one
out.
too.
Yes.
It won't be good.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
It won't be good. Yeah, I'm not good enough.
Lovable.
Yes. I'm unlovable or not lovable. Yes.
I don't deserve that.
Yes. Unworthy.
Got
Would
it.
you say? Yes.
Thank you.
Big.
Ooh.
Yeah. So is it I'm unsafe? Would you say that the voice is saying play it safe because it might be unsafe? Would you say?
Got it. Thank you.
You're not smart enough.
Not smart enough. Yeah. And which is another good enough.
They hire me.
Why me?
Why me?
Got it.
Fantastic. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
You're not going to make any money doing that.
Right.
Right.
That's a good one.
It's a good voice.
Why can't you do like that?
Right. Comparison. Yeah. I'm not perfect. Why can't I
Okay.
be like him. Okay. Fantastic.
Thank you for that.
So here's what we found in working with over 100 voices and voice and music and song and people for the first time saying, I can, I will put my voice in music. Vulnerability shows up. And these are the 5 that we've found by far most common.
So top 5, in no particular order. Number 1.
Why do you always pick the number 1 which you've felt
Number
in your
5.
life? No, I'm kidding.
Number 5. You are not good enough.
Yeah.
So that can be, we think that includes things like you're unlovable. You're not lovable enough. You're not successful enough. You're your voice isn't good enough. Your guitar skills just aren't up to scratch, So don't try, because it's just not going to be enough.
Got it.
And more is better culture.
Yeah.
Number 4.
I'm going down. Okay. I'm unsafe. This is close to my heart because that voice is literally encapsulates. I almost lost my life to mental illness in my 20s, to OCD. And the small voice that encapsulated my illness was I'm unsafe. Therefore, I must mitigate that by relieving it with behaviors that might keep me safe. And so it's a really big one for me, and I see it show up a lot for people, that doing an action or voicing or speaking up or doing something that's new or the OSM might risk danger to your safety. It's a big one.
It's a big one.
I'm too much.
Number 3, I'm too much.
I'm too much. This one is interesting because it's so prevalent in Australia. I don't know about Canada, Amy. It is so prevalent in Australia. We call it the tall poppy syndrome in Australia. It's
Inherited by the
basically
British.
when poppies grow, they want it to be uniform. If one pops up too high, it's just glorious. They're like, no, take it off for the sake of everyone else. It's very colonial.
The performer types, they're always talking, they're always the first to put their hand up. Who wants to sing? Often they get growing up, just, if you're going to be that loud, go into your room or just tone it down. Shine, don't shine so much because give others a chance.
And we found a lot of people,
the extroverts,
that were really big as a kid and that were in a family that were like, nah, like mum was like, nah, don't outshine me to the daughter, or the father was like, get in line, or whatever. That feeling I'm too much is born and not talked about a lot, but it's in there. That if I really come out, I'm going to be so valuable and powerful that I might make people around me jealous, disturbed, and bothered.
So the cost is potentially being isolated.
Or dimmed down.
Boxed in. Number 2.
You going?
You got
Me?
it?
I've got it? Okay. I love this one. I'm not perfect. It's such an amazing one to us because when we do the Songwriters Journey, what we're really doing is our brother wacky wizard way of helping people reframe the creative process again. And what we're about to say is going to sound so obvious, but so hard to apply. Make a mess, dare to suck, blah, play together, collaborate with yourself and others, and then go, what do we got? And then go, let's pan this for gold. And then pan together, still no judgment, still play, still creative. And then go, let's criticize. It is so easy in 2019 to get that backwards. When you're creating a company, a new product, inside an idea space, an innovation space in a company, it's the same thing. When we're in a session with someone, it's a collaborative, creative environment that leads to ideas and products and services.
And like John was saying, instead of the exponential, looking, we want exponential growth. In our work, it's 0 to perfect song, and it's got to be perfect. As it's coming out. You got to write John Lennon's Imagine, or
no pressure.
Don't bother trying, But what we find is that there are linear steps that you take to then, really get to where you need to go and where the song is expressing who you are.
And that voice is in all of us. It's shown to us through the filters on Instagram and Facebook and everyone showing their best foot forward at all times. But the truth is, we're messy. And 0 to 100, or I'll take an F unless it's an A+. We either know that doesn't work or we don't know it yet. But perfection is entirely overrated. So that voice is a big haunting voice that shows up a lot for our people.
Fail better.
So yes.
Number one, you're not worthy, or I don't deserve this, as you were saying. That one's a big one. Really, for the work we do, because a lot of people don't feel like they are worthy of giving themselves the time and the investment in their voice. It's something we don't really put on the pyramid of values of where is your creative expression in your value pyramid? You've got the work, you've got the family, you've got the money, you've got all of these things, but we take for granted the power and the importance of having that time to reflect and the self-care of expression and creativity. And so
It often shows up in the someday I'll do that thing that's really important to me.
yeah, we hate
That
Sundays.
someday I'll make a space for some creative thing in my life that's going to be satiating and fill my cup.
Yeah.
That I'll get there. So I feel like worthy comes there. So what we wanted, is there one person that would just love to speak to us? You can stay where you are. We just wanted to hear about, is it one person wants to work with us on their small voices just for fun? Just for a few minutes. Anyone? Yes. Khalil.
Come on up. Can we come up? Yeah.
Cool.
Be seen. Khalil?
Yes, sir.
Isaac. It's a pleasure, brother.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Right.
Thank you.
So you said your small voice that you said was, Mike. Excuse
That'll-
me. Thank you. Your small voice again? One of the small voices?
Hello.
Yeah,
Okay, you guys hear
thank
me? One of the small voices is being misunderstood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when that small voice arises, what happens to you? Like, what is your conversation with that small voice? How do you respond when that voice says, "Don't do that thing you're about to do because they won't understand it"? What is your automatic response, or what do you find to be your normal response to that?
I'll just stay silent.
So it has its way with you?
Yes.
It has the microphone? Okay. What would your life be like without this voice?
I'd be standing up here just like you guys.
And you are.
Yeah.
You are.
Right. So
And you are.
you are.
I mean that. You are.
Do you get that you're not this small voice?
I understand it, but I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
I know the small voice is just the enemy in my head.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay. And so when do you remember that first time that small voice showed up? Like when was the first time you felt misunderstood truly?
As a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
How old were you?
What was the moment?
I can't tell you the exact moment.
Okay.
Because one of these beautiful speakers
Fair
is my
enough.
grandma.
Got it.
And she's gave me the gift to speak like her when I feel it, when I have that energy. And we replay my life. I grew up in two houses, her house and my dad's house, two opposites.
Yeah.
And I'd go over there with the information she gives me.
Yeah.
Just pretty much the same things we're learning here today.
Yeah.
It's just a reminder for me.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm learning more as well. But
Yeah.
I just go talk about you can become successful. And they're like, you have to go get a job.
Right.
And I'm like, no, you can make money doing this. If you teach people this, you can make, no. Just being discouraged.
Got it.
So being knocked down for any idea you have or any information you may know that somebody else doesn't know.
Yeah.
That they don't understand.
Yeah.
It'll knock you down.
Yeah.
And then,
So I get
Yeah.
you're going to parent differently.
yes.
So one of the analogies that we love to use to work with these small voices is that you're the parent, right? And this small voice is a toddler or a small child who likes to scream a lot and get its way by throwing a tantrum. And so being the benevolent father that I know you are, big-hearted father that hears that small voice but doesn't necessarily give in, right? Is gonna, like the small kid, the small child, the small voice is saying, "Don't take me to school because I'm going to be misunderstood," or whatever it is, whatever it's screaming to you in the analogy. And so if you can, when you hear that misunderstood voice screaming at you like a toddler or a child, then you basically say, "I hear you, but I'm doing this anyway." And you take a step.
Which
And
sounds
that's,
so easy.
No, it's
but
a
I'm
one
saying-
analogy
But
because
it really is gorgeous because the truth is, Khalil, you're extremely special and the same as everyone else when it comes to the voices that get formed inside us. And there's a little boy in you where this voice was formed because there was moments where you were misunderstood. You were like, "Oh, I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to say nothing. Like, all right, I'm not going to share me. Me's not working here. That's what we do. We stop being ourselves, even though all we want to do is be ourselves and actually speak and act, or not speak and not act in a way that we actually feel. And we get that little voice or that little boy or girl makes a choice. And so that voice, those voices that we hear, this small voice, is just going, hey, is that going to happen again? Is that going to happen again? And what occurs if you couldn't change that voice, but you knew that you never had to listen or act from him again, and he could just be under your wing, what might occur? If you could put up with what he feels like. He uses all of your feelings, thoughts, and sensations and emotions, I'm sure. But if you could just put up with what he makes you feel and speak and act anyway, what would occur? What would that feel like?
So you're asking,
Yeah.
you're asking, what is the feelings that occur when you feel knocked down, pretty much?
Yeah, no, what would it feel like if you didn't listen to that small
if I
voice and
ignored
did
it?
it anyway? Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I was known for not caring or listening, so I kind of would just already do that, but it affected me in the long run.
Yeah.
So then it didn't affect me, and then it was like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, you don't want to listen.
But over time, you internalize
But
that voice.
It, in the long run,
Got it.
with other things
Yeah.
that go along, life, school, whatever,
Got it.
teachers, people knocking you down, it just added up collectively.
Thank you for your heart.
Thank you,
courage.
Khalil. Yeah, seriously.
Thank you for sharing. You're amazing.
Thank you. Very cool.
We're going to move it back.
All right, so
the
we have
time
a
we
small
have.
amount of time, but we're going to give you a taste or an exercise of your big voice, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about how to work with these small voices in the small amount of time. So,
Yeah.
Thorald, you.
And what we're about to do is really as simple as allowing these small voices to be with you without the need to fix or get rid of them.
Yeah.
Now, that might be unpopular in a fix-it age, but it's what we've discovered, and it's what we've discovered working with the hundreds of people, including ourselves, that the more that we can allow these small voices to be and embody the big voice that we know we are and speak and act from that place, dare I say, miracles happen. Things get made in the world, and a new sense of pride and your new works appear in the world, actually. So we're just going to do a really simple exercise, and our work together with people is broken up between what they've been through, their story and narrative into lyrics, so that finally gets expressed, so it's not dormant. It's also about their distinct whole body instrument, and it's also about music and song that's moved them throughout their life. We call it musical cosmology. We're just going to start with a tiny piece, just a touch of the whole body instrument work. And I just want you to, where you are, just close your eyes.
Feet on the ground.
And quite simply, allow yourself to experience what's naturally and automatically occurring. Invite yourself into the experience that is here for you, that this body that you've been gifted to be in this lifetime, literally to be in, has been waiting for you to experience it. And that could be the sensation of what it feels like to be in this room. It could be the sensation of being in your skin. It could be what it feels like to hear through your ears. I want you to just invite that part of you that can play this game just home in your instrument. It's actually scientifically remarkable and one of a kind. The exact amalgamation of cells of ancient stars that make up this body that you have right now that will one day pass back to the soil. It's remarkable. The other fact is no one else will ever experience this instrument that you're experiencing. Ever. That the time and space that your body takes up cannot be experienced by someone else. So I just want you to take a deep inhale from that experience. And I want you to, just with your awareness, witness any small voices or triggers that might come up in judgment of yourself or me or my brother or this room or anything. And I just want you to experience those. That there's a you that can experience those small voices. I want you to witness that they are automatic, that anything that triggers from your thoughts, feelings, sensations, and emotions, that you didn't choose to be present to creating, the automatic ones, just witness them as best you can in this moment. And from there, I want you to take a deep inhale. I want you to exhale, hissing in the back of the throat to an ah, like this. And I want you to feel that instrument that you are regardless. Inhale. Exhale again. That regardless of those small voices, you are here in this experience. Inhale. And let out any note, regardless of anything. And again, inhale. And regardless of what you or your small voices think about how you sound, I want you to experience it anyway. Inhale. And if you're called not to actually harmonize and you want to make a bigger sound, try it. Inhale. And again, just coming into your experience. That no one is going to ever experience what you're experiencing right now. Like actually. And be with that for a second. I want you to pay attention to the small voices, and Isaac's going to speak about 3 pieces now. But I want you to see how you're here anyway, regardless of those small voices.
Thank you, Tom. Hands up if you were worried about the person next to you hearing your voice. Thanks for your honesty. So, what do we do with these small voices? You know, when we leave this room, we've come up with, thanks to Steve's clarity, we've come up with 3 things that we can do. 3 steps, small voices. We're just going to leave you with this. This is our gift. First of all, hear them. What is this screaming toddler, child version of us inside our head screaming at us? What are they saying? Listen to them. Don't ignore them. Don't send them to their room or try and cut them out and get angry at them. Hear them out.
So hearing, that's musical. We can hear anything. Listen to this. Ready? Hear this. To witness, impartially even, dare I say. Imagine being able to have the capacity and courage to impartially hear the small voices that are using your mind and body to irritate you, but you get to witness them without judgment. That's called impartial spectator.
We call it being comfortable in discomfort, or getting comfortably uncomfortable. That's part of the hearing out the small voice that's saying, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. I hear you.
So there's the hear, right?
And, you can do this at home. You don't have to walk down the street. I hear you.
I've done that before. I don't recommend it.
Second, number 2, you name them. Name the voice. Okay. You can get fun. You can have fun with it. Oh, that's Aunt Joe. Okay, thank you, Aunt Joe. Labeling a small voice allows you to then see that that's not you. It's not the you that's witnessing. It's not the you behind your senses. It's just an automatic negative response to what you sense, or what is being sensed as dangerous or challenging or scary.
And
right?
simply filed by an earlier version of yourself. And guess what? How forgivable is that? Entirely. Because different younger versions of yourself that felt danger, unsafe, embarrassed, unknown, filed a file to irritate and agitate you when you might do the same thing again. It's literally given to you from your ancestors.
Yeah.
How well can you be in relationship to the absolute fact that these voices, these feelings, sensations, emotions aren't going anywhere, but you could hear them and name them what they are.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Exactly. So you're in a boardroom. You're in a boardroom. The boss is there. There's colleagues there. You've got a great idea. You go to put it, and then it's, don't do that. You're not worthy of this job. So as soon as you say that idea, you're going to get caught out, and you'll get fired, right? Right there, you hear it, you name it. That's my unworthy voice speaking. Hang on, do I want to be the person that lives from the place of unworthiness? Or do I want to be bold and courageous and experience the power of speaking up anyway? So
Isaac,
the third one
jumped
is
into
choosing, right? Choose your big voice anyway.
Choosing means, regardless of how uncomfortable and OSMing you are, I know that's in here, to us it's daring to suck, which means to apply an action even though those small voices are screaming at you. Those small voices that have been created distinctly for you from your own system that you have.
So
It's very objective if you think about it. That, of course, Khalil went through the experience that you had. And it must not have been easy. And your system was listening the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's looking out in every other way in your life where it could warn you that it might occur again. But the thing is that small voice isn't correct. It's just trying to remind you. It's tugging on you.
You just did it.
And you already
just
did that.
chose your big voice, and you got up on here and you shone, and no one, I think everyone can attest that we all got you. We really got you. We heard you, and we see you, and we believe in you. Like, you're magnificent. So,
Absolutely.
you know, especially when you're standing tall in your big voice.
Yeah, it was amazing. So hearing, naming, choosing, well, the naming is happening right now. But you definitely heard and you definitely chose. And it's very simple, and it shows up time and time again. We get to work with people's small voices. Everyone that comes to us goes, I can't sing. I've wanted to. My mom said, don't sing. All of these voices we named are why people come to us. We get to dispel through proof, truly, that those voices were not correct. And it's not that we go to war on those voices. We bring those voices or help them bring those voices back under their wing. And what they're left with is really a sense of pride or being proud. Pride doesn't sum it up. Being proud of yourself. One of the highest currencies I've ever come across, personally and with others. So there's really a transmission that we get to be a part of over and over again. So we get to fall in love with what we do over and over again. The why seeps out everywhere. We don't know if we have time for a song, Steve, or we do. We just wanted to say that, thank you, Steve. We're going to sing a song of peace in a second. We wanted to say, and we're not great at this, but we do want to say one thing, that when song or your voice needs to come to the forefront, and song may be your medium or singing may be your medium, we are for people to make a courageous step. We do what we do. Literally, Steve, I feel like you wrote that for us. That's why we're a fangirl of you. Because, like, do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. We only exist because the Songwriters Journey is as great as our next muse. That someone who doesn't feel that they can comes to us and we get to show them they do. And they share it and celebrate themselves. So if it's in you, like so courageously Amy McNaughton, who I want to acknowledge, we met at the last Extreme
this time a
Leadership
year ago,
right here, and we had a moment, and I'm so proud of you, because what a bold move you made. So Amy went from never singing necessarily at all, certainly never recording, to coming out and recording 6 songs with us, and it was we learned so much from Amy of what it takes to go from feeling silenced and unheard in your life in singing voice, and to see what happens when you just stay with her. And there's no greater muse that I've ever had. We've worked with some great singers, and Amy's journey is a journey I love as much, if not more.
Come on. So, thank you. I acknowledge it.
If it's in you, it's in you, and you'll know how to find us, and we're so honored to be with you guys. We're going to sing this song. It's named Abraham.
It's written about 2 brothers that have been fighting for about 2,000 years and still going at it. But this is our prayer for peace. It's called Abraham.
I've lost the pick. That's the other thing I learned to do, is just say the worst thing on my mind.
Coming from
it really works. Thanks, Michael. Here we go. Get up here, Steve.
Oh, yeah, Steve, what are you doing?
Come and play with us.
Just join in. We'll start and you just join in.
No, but I'm just sitting here.
Steve
like, you have to
Farber,
play
come
with us.
on down. We'll get it going because we do have a time clock. I was going to dedicate, and I will dedicate this song to your late brother.
Yeah.
Who every time you're around, I just feel the brother energy around you still. So, to your beautiful brother and you.
You can just be acoustic.
Just in the room. There's a tale told by sailors of two sons and their father as they sail to old Palestine. True were these brothers, they sailed to bury their father. They would fight for Jerusalem. You will be meek when I am able. You'll be the salt upon the table. But when all is said and done, could you somehow be sons of Abraham? I was told by a stranger, a young blood thrown to the desert, he united a people with his hands. In the way to the crescent, he fed the lion to the pheasant. He would stride to the spring of Zamzam. Oh, you will be meek when I am able. It shall be the salt upon the table. When all is said and done, could you somehow be sons of Abraham? You will be meek when I am able. You'll be the salt upon the table. When all is said and done, could you somehow be sons of Abraham? Take it away, Steve. There's a tale told by soldiers of a young boy taken to slaughter. He was saved by his father's hand. Oh, he was prized and protected. Prince was he elected. He was to save the wolves with the lamb. You will be meek when I am able. You'll be the salt upon the table. But when all is said and done, could you somehow be sons of Abraham? You will be meek when I am able. You'll be the salt upon the table.
When all is said and done, could you somehow be sons of I, perhaps? We'll see you tonight.
Thank you so much for your ears. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, man. Hey.
Thank you.
Mwah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Well, that little musical interlude at the end is honestly why I love being around the brothers. There's always music, and I always get invited in to participate. Just my little personal take on it. I hope you enjoyed this exploration of big voices and small voices, and that you've already started to listen for your own. And of course, the idea is to give the microphone to the big voice more and more often. I recommend you go back and re-listen to that section where they had us breathe a little bit and listen for what those voices are. And I believe that the more attention we can give to our own big voice, we will encourage. I believe that the more attention we give to our own big voice, we'll be encouraging ourselves to step up, take more risks, and do the things necessary to make this world a better place and to operationalize love in everything we do in business and beyond. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Steve Farber. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Love is Just Damn Good Business with Steve Farber. Join us again next time, because when customer and employee satisfaction just isn't enough anymore, we are here to back you up with specific ideas to operationalize love to make an enormous difference in your business, personal life, and the world around you. Visit our website at stevefarber.com to leave a review. And don't forget to share the love with your colleagues and friends, because after all, it's just damn good business.